What's up, Spice Droppers? It's Charlie from Ferndale. Obligatory chili episode starts now. I do want to just say, for this chili episode, I'm going through the basics. Once you get the basics down, you can start messing with the recipe, adding stuff to it. So let's get cooking! Alright, to start off, I have a frying pan right here, up to temp. I'm going to throw some oil in there. And then right here I have 1 pound each of hamburger, 80-20, and I have 1 pound of pork sausage, not Italian sausage, it's not hot sausage, it's just plain old regular pork sausage. So we're going to throw these in here, kind of break them up as we go. So right now we'll just break this down a little bit. It will eventually break down a lot more as it cooks. And it will shrink a little bit, so even though it looks like I don't have a big enough pan here, I do. Basic seasonings for chili. We're going to do some chili powder, obviously. And this, we want a lot of chili powder. So I'm going to put like 3 tablespoons on here. We got some cumin. I'll do about 2 tablespoons. Paprika, I'm using Spanish paprika. Actually, no, I have smoked paprika. I'm going to use smoked paprika. If you have Spanish, you can use that too. And again, we're going to do about 2 tablespoons here. And cayenne pepper, I'm just going to do like 1 tablespoon. Now, get back to mixing that up. And we're going to add a lot more spices later too. So that is not the last spice drop we'll do in this video. That's mixed up pretty good now. While that's cooking still, we're going to cut up some veggies to throw in here too. I have some garlic cloves. I got 4 garlic cloves here. And we're going to cut these up to throw in here. And I have these 3 small onions. If you have a normal size onion, just use 1 onion. But I have these really small onions for some reason. So I'm going to use those. Wapa! 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 Now we're just going to dice these up. Or mince these up. If you can't tell, I watched a video on how to hold your knife, and I'm choking up so much more than I used to. I didn't realize you're supposed to hold on to the actual blade. So now, I can just go without even taking my knife off the board, and look at that mince now. It's so much cleaner than my old minces. Alright, we're going to push that up there, turn this meat around. Now I got these 3 onions to cut. More stupid skins to deal with. Now that I got those skins off, we don't want like a super fine dice because we want these to hold up in the chili is a little bit. I know we usually put onions in before the meat so that they translucitize and break down, and with chili I don't prefer to do that because I like those onions to have some texture in there. So this meat should be pretty good. I'm going to flip it one more time, but first I'm going to throw in about 1/3 of these onions. And I'll do half of this garlic. No, I'm going to throw in all of this garlic. So now this meat's pretty well cooked. We're going to let it cook a couple more minutes after I flip it here. Just mix those onions in a little bit. Now we are going to throw in about 4 tablespoons of tomato paste, which is quite a bit. It's about half that tube. Now we're just going to mix that in so that kind of coats everything. Alright, I'm turning that heat off, bringing this bowl over, dumping that meat into this bowl. Let that paper towel take some of that grease out, and you can see, I mean, there's already a ton of grease coating through there. Alright, I got my Dutch oven coming up to heat. I got my bowl of the rest of the onions over here. I'm also going to cut up 1 green pepper, and again, we want decent size chunks, not just tiny little pieces. I think green pepper adds a lot of flavor to it. A lot of times I'll do yellow pepper for some color, and there's that green pepper. Going along with that, I'm also going to do a couple jalapeno peppers, and these are definitely not basic. If you don't like heat, then don't put these in. I am going to cut down the spine, and we are going to take those seeds out, and you should be using gloves when you're doing this. I'm just not right now, but yeah, just cut under that spine thing, get those seeds out. And actually, now that I say that, I think I'm going to do 1 no seeds and chop 1 up with the seeds still in there. But again, this is something you can mess around with. You can use different peppers. I would stick with peppers that are from the Southwest, you know, from Mexico. I would not go with like Thai chilies in chili because that's just a completely different flavor profile. Alright, our Dutch oven should be heated up now, so let's get started putting stuff in there. First thing I'm going to do is put a little olive oil in there. And then I'm going to take my bowl of peppers and onions, and I'm going to just do about half of those. I don't want to use all the onions. Most of the peppers in there I'll try to get rid of, but I want to use some of those onions for plating as well. I got 2 8-ounce cans of tomato sauce we're going to open up. And I got 2 15-ounce cans of petite diced tomatoes. I got 2 cans, 15.5-ounce cans of dark red kidney beans. I'm going to open these and drain these. And then I got some beef broth. We're going to need about 3 cups of that. As far as the beans go, you can use other beans. That's something you might want to experiment with. If you don't like beans, you don't need to put beans in chili, but I really think chili is the best with beans in it. Alright, these are pretty well translucitized now. You can even see those peppers are starting to sweat, starting to get a little lighter in color. So I'm going to take a little more tomato paste, throw that down in there. Get that on the heat if you can. Let that flavor come out of there. Give that a few seconds there, and then we can mix that in. Now I'll go ahead and just get all these veggies covered with that paste. We're going to take our 2 cans of the diced tomatoes, 2 of these smaller cans of tomato sauce, and now while I have the 3 cups of beef broth here, I'm going to throw those into these smaller cans to get all of that tomato sauce out of there too. Work smarter, not harder. Throw the rest of that beef broth in there. I'll meet back up with you guys once that starts boiling. Alright, so we're just now coming to a boil. You can see it start bubbling in there, so I'm going to turn this down to a simmer. Throw our beans in. Now we're going to throw some more seasoning in. Some more smoked paprika. About 2 more tablespoons of that. Chili powder, about 2 more. Cayenne, we'll do about 1 more. The cumin, 1 more. 2 tablespoons of sugar. We'll do a bunch of cranks of this pepper. And then we're going to do a couple pinches of salt in here too. Throw in more of these onions. Save some for toppings. And I'll throw in these jalapenos too with the seeds. I'm going to leave the meat out right now because if for any reason we need to make it thicker, I can take some beans out and just mash those up and throw them back in. So I got my timer set for 45 minutes. We're just going to let this cook here, let it do its own thing. Feel free to stir it every once in a while. You can taste it every once in a while and add seasoning as needed. You want that lid off so that some of that steam escapes and we kind of thicken this up a little bit. And then I'll see you in 45 minutes when we add that meat back. Alright, it has been 45 minutes. The consistency is perfect. I did add some more chili powder and some more cumin, but the taste is awesome. So now I'm going to add that meat back. We got, again, that ground beef, and we have that sausage. So just throw that back in, stir that in, and that's going to thicken this up a crazy amount, and we're going to have perfect chili here. Now we're going to let this simmer for another 15 minutes. Let that meat marry with everything else, and we're going to prep up some stuff for serving, and we'll be ready to go. Alright, so we got about 5 minutes left on the simmering with the meat in there. I'm going to prep everything to get ready for serving. And what I like to use, I got some Fritos here. I like to use the big scoops with chili. Obviously I have my onions and my jalapeno slices here we're going to throw on there. Some sour cream. Gotta have sour cream on chili. And I'm going to take some Colby Jack cheese and we're going to shred some. So I'm just going to prep some of this for me. Do a little bit extra for my second and third and fourth servings of this. Hugo, come here. Hugo's ready for his cheese tax. So yeah, we got about 3 minutes left now and then we can try this. Alright, Spice Droppers, everything's ready and it looks delicious. I just turned the heat off the stove. Look how thick that is too. Let's plate some of this up. Gonna throw some of the chili in there. I'll put the dollop of sour cream on there. We got the onion. And I like just to have that different consistency of all this onion. Throw some of that cheese on top. I'll probably end up adding more of this later. Get my jalapenos in there. And we can't forget these Frito scoops. And check out that beautiful chili, Spice Droppers. I got a spoon here, but I'm obviously going to use one of these scoops. Get a little bit of everything in there. Cheers, Spice Droppers. Perfect chili for a Lions win next week. Boom! We did it again. Let's go, baby. Spice Droppers. Peace and love. I love you.